Hi, welcome back to Chief Technology Mommy. I want to share with you a story that I read yesterday, and I actually shared it on my Facebook page and on Twitter at Marlin page on yesterday. And it is about a website and an app called Skout. Parents, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, but Skout is an online flirting site. Would be just fine with that if it were for adults only, but these geniuses came up with the concept of having a flirting site for children, teenagers between the ages of 13 and 17. And unfortunately, 3 men have been accused of crossing from the adult site to the teen site and raping 3 children that they met online. This is just not even an aha to me. I don't even understand this whole flirting site for children. Online flirting, parents, simply means I'm going to share photos with you. More than likely, I'm going to share some inappropriate information or just divulge too much information. We're going to chat it up, and then eventually, like what happened with these young ladies, we're going to meet offline. Just because a site or an app, because it is a site and it is an app, says that it is appropriate for a 13 to 17-year-old, parents, we still need to be vigilant. We have to be vigilant about what our children are doing on the internet and these apps that they are downloading. I speak with so many parents who are beating their chest. My child is not on Facebook, this whole self-righteous thing, and they don't have Twitter, and they will not be on Google Plus because it is inappropriate and they don't have time for social media. However, we give them smartphones. Parents, a smartphone is nothing more than a mini computer. And if they have access to the internet, then they have access to the world. So yes, they are going to be on websites. They are downloading some apps, and some of these apps are 100% inappropriate for our children. I know that every child is different. Maturity levels are different. However, an online flirting site where adults can meet children. Now, from what I understand, it was supposed to be a separate little barrier there, but come on, seriously, someone didn't think this out. Luckily, the site has been shut down as they look at safeguards, and they're going to see what the legal ramifications are for this. We, as parents, have to be vigilant. So let me give you a few tips as it relates to these websites and these apps. Number one, communicate. Speak with your children. I remember my daughter downloaded an app and she said to me, "But mommy, it's free." And it was an appropriate app. However, we had to set the expectation that she would not download anything, free or not. I don't care if it was for the age category 3 to 5 and she's 13. We are going to talk about it first. I need to understand what you are downloading and the why. I know she hates it. I'm on her back. I would rather do that now than to have her life altered in any way because I'm slipping on my parental duties and I am not up in her business. That's the second part. Number two, stop talking about spying on your children. They are the children. They need us. It is about being in their business. It is about talking with them about what they're doing. And then lastly, you want to set the expectations. You want to set the consequences. What are the consequences to your actions? 3 just quick tips, and they are non-technical. You don't have to be technical to do these things. So just because it's out there for your children, just because they think it's cool, some of them, unfortunately, parents, you know how we were when we were younger. We were trying to be slick. They're going to do it. They might still do it, but at least they know I am going to check up on you. So let's be vigilant with this. I'm going to watch this story. I am going to be watching Skout. And if someone's out there listening to this from Skout, I have my eye on you. I want to know what is going to happen next with this. So parents, let's work together to keep our children safe on the internet. We can do this. We are the adults. We have the right to say no, and our children are under our tutelage. So like it or not, we set the rules, we set the expectations, and we set the consequences. I am relentlessly and passionately out here working to keep our children safe. So until next time, join me on Twitter. I provide information every day on stories for awareness and education at Marlin page. And then subscribe to this channel because there will be, unfortunately, I have news every day, probably every hour, on something that's going on with our kids and keeping them safe on the internet. Thanks.